The Curse of Shadow Ridge. Dora was always the one who could convince anyone to take a risk. With her playful smile and thirst for thrill, her friends joked she'd have made a great explorer in another life. One night around a campfire, she proposed an idea. An adventure deep into Shadow Ridge, a jungle surrounded by rumors of strange sightings and wild beasts. Their group of 7 friends was all in. Adrenaline was their language, and the mystery of Shadow Ridge was calling. There was Chris, the fearless leader, Sarah, the skeptic, Raj, who'd do anything Dora suggested, and Mira, whose quiet demeanor balanced the wild energy of others. Rounding out the group were Leo and Ben, the jokesters who kept everyone's spirits high. They set off early on a Saturday morning, packing lightly, eager for what they thought would be a thrilling, harmless excursion. As they ventured into the dense trees, an eerie silence blanketed them. Animals watched from a distance, their eyes glinting in the shadowed underbrush. It was about midday when they stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin hidden deep in the jungle. On its walls were tattered scientific posters, books strewn everywhere, and diagrams of wolves and human anatomy. A chill ran through Dora's spine as she picked up a notebook, flipping through pages filled with frenzied handwriting. The name Vikram, written on the first page, seemed oddly familiar to her. Vikram? Wasn't that the weird guy who dropped out of our college last year? Ben whispered, a hint of fear in his voice. Dora nodded slowly. Vikram had been a loner, a biologist obsessed with genetic experimentation, who'd left abruptly after a series of incidents that no one could quite explain. Stories circulated that he was doing experiments, combining DNA from various species. Some thought it was just gossip. But here, in the depths of Shadow Ridge, those rumors suddenly felt disturbingly real. They decided to press on, thinking they'd just stumbled upon a creepy coincidence. But as they moved deeper, the air grew colder, and the trees twisted as if recoiling from something unnatural. Suddenly, a low, guttural growl echoed through the trees. They all froze. Emerging from the shadows was a figure that defied logic. A creature with the build of a man but the features of a wolf. His eyes glowed, intense and filled with rage, locked onto them. Dora's heart pounded. She could see it in his face. It was Vikram, but he was no longer human. Whatever experiments he had conducted had transformed him into this terrifying human-wolf hybrid. "Run!" Chris shouted, snapping everyone out of their shock. They scattered, each sprinting in different directions. Dora and Raj stayed together, but the growls grew louder as Vikram pursued, his speed impossibly fast. One by one, their friends were picked off. Sarah's scream pierced the air as Vikram appeared before her, his claws flashing in the dim jungle light. Chris and Leo ran toward the river, only to find themselves trapped as Vikram leapt from above, landing with deadly precision. It was a horror show as he dispatched each of them, his eyes burning with a desire for vengeance that transcended humanity. Raj and Dora managed to find a hiding spot beneath a dense thicket. As they struggled to catch their breath, Dora whispered, "He's doing this because of us, because of the way we treated him in college." Raj's face paled as he remembered the pranks, the taunts, the isolation they'd forced on Vikram. The memories felt trivial back then, but now they were haunting reminders that cruelty has a way of coming back. Just when they thought they might have escaped, Vikram's voice, half human, half beast, growled from somewhere in the darkness. "You laughed at me, treated me like a joke. Now, who's laughing?" With a howl that shattered the night, Vikram lunged, his claws glinting. Raj pushed Dora aside, sacrificing himself in one last act of bravery. Dora stumbled back, tears streaming down her face as she watched Vikram tear into Raj, his eyes glinting with satisfaction. Dora ran, her mind racing, searching for a way out. As she reached a clearing, a small flash of hope ignited within her. She could see the edge of the jungle. She sprinted, Vikram's growls echoing behind her, her pulse pounding. Just as she reached the final line of trees, Vikram tackled her to the ground, his face mere inches from hers. "Why, Dora?" he hissed. "Why did you all make me a monster?" Her voice trembled as she whispered, "We were wrong. I'm sorry." For a brief moment, something human flickered in Vikram's eyes, but the beast quickly overpowered it, and with a snarl, he lunged. Dora braced herself, thinking this was the end. But a flash of light appeared, the sun rising just over the horizon. As the first rays hit Vikram, he let out a shriek, recoiling from the light. He writhed in agony, his body caught in a strange half-transformation, his wolf form fighting to stay as his humanity returned in fleeting flashes. Dora seized the moment, scrambling away and running out of the jungle, not looking back. Behind her, Vikram's screams faded, replaced by silence as the sunlight bathed the land. When she reached the town, she was barely able to speak. No one believed her story, writing it off as hysteria. But Dora knew better. Shadow Ridge held dark secrets, and she carried a scar in her soul as a reminder. In the years that followed, no one dared enter Shadow Ridge again. But there were always rumors, stories of a beast roaming the jungle, forever trapped between man and monster, howling in the dead of night for revenge that could never be fulfilled.